Hello, BB King All-Star Band. My name is Kofi Donkor, and I'm applying to the position of a male singer. And just to introduce myself a little bit, I am a Berklee College of Music graduate, graduated last year, and I study music production and engineering. So working a lot in studios and stuff. And my principal was guitar, but throughout my college career, I played in a lot of GB bands as a guitarist and a male vocalist. And currently, right now, I'm on track to getting my master's actually in computer science or data science, one of those two, because I hope to join the expanding tech market and make apps that help musicians either make music or connect with other musicians, or um, make virtual reality the best possible interface that it can be for musicians in terms of being lucrative. So that's really where my interest is now. That's where my mind is headed. But I love performing, and I'll do it any chance I get. So I'll be super excited for this opportunity. And to the next question, then, what excites you most about the potential being a part of the BB King All-Star Band at Sea? Um, Besides being able to perform, which I just said, one of the most interesting things to me about potentially being able to be on this gig are the locations that the ship is going to, because I'm currently like an intermediate Spanish speaker, and so the opportunity to be able to potentially practice my Spanish with native speakers and just experience the culture in different Hispanic countries is extremely intriguing to me, and I would love to be able to explore that. So that's probably one of the most exciting things to me um, about being on this gig. To the next question, what's one skill you would like to improve upon, and what's your plan for doing so? So, I would definitely love to be a master of all and everything GB in terms of GB set lists. I love to expand my knowledge of repertoire and be able to execute any song that is required of me perfectly. And I think that this cruise actually would be a great opportunity to do that, because I'd be playing every day rather than, every week, which is still a good bit, but to play every day would be such a great opportunity to really solidify this material and get it under my belt. I think also a great skill would be being able to socialize with people like on a super familiar basis with the people that I'm playing for. Because I think what's different between playing in a wedding, right, and then playing on a cruise ship is that at a wedding you see people once and then you never see them again. But on a cruise ship, there's actually the opportunity to play and then to interact with the people that you've just played for immediately after, and potentially have a longer relationship with them, depending on how long the cruise is. So I think that's also super interesting and something that could definitely just benefit me as a human, to be able to really connect with the people that I'm playing for and, cement those relationships. To the next question, how would you describe your own working style? I would say I'm very precise and relentless in the context of achieving perfection. I do think that perfection exists, and though I've never reached it, I do think that that believing that perfection exists allows you to achieve things that you might not have been able to achieve if you didn't believe that it existed. Kind of like the shoot for the stars and land on the moon. If you don't even believe that it exists, then it can't be reached. So I definitely take that to heart, and I see that a lot in my audio work, particularly when I'm either tuning vocals or editing various audio. I definitely have a very meticulous nature to the way that I work, and I would describe it as that: precise and relentless. So then to the next question: talk about a time when you had to work closely with somebody whose personality was very different from yours. There was one project that I worked on with this female vocalist, female artist, and she was a very distracted artist type, very free spirit, kind of gal, and it started. I recognized that it started to be a problem because it's balancing act. Like, she was so free spirited, and her songs reflected that, which was part of her draw, and part of her endearing nature as an artist. But the flip side of that coin was that being structured, or developing a structure in terms of producing with me as a producer and working, it was hard to nail her down. So, at the end, what we just did is we just made a schedule, like twice a week. We were like, these are 2 days that no matter what, we are going to talk. Not even work. It's not even like, these 2 days we're going to work, because that is too overimposing itself. But just talk, because we were also friends. So on those 2 days, we would always talk, and either we would make headway on the songs that we were working on, or I'd just find out more about her life, or she would find out more about mine. And by the end of the project, we became much closer, and we were able to get done what we wanted. So that was definitely one situation where our personalities differed, but we were able to make it work. To the next question: give one example of a time that you faced conflict while you're working on a team. So, one of the initial jobs that I had towards the end of my college career was working in a hotel doing audio-visual services for conferences and events that were being held. And so that ranged from doing audio, but also doing like visual presentation setups, like projection screens and recording for live streams and stuff like that. So there was one particular time where we had a fairly new person on the job doing the video work for a conference. And naturally, this person was still trying to get the hang of operating the camera and being able to move with the person who was presenting, follow them, and to be able to keep the presentation looking right for the live stream. Not necessarily for the people in the audience, but for the people on the live stream. And so on that particular day, I was on the switch, which was switching between what was seen on the projection screen versus what was seen by the camera. So it was kind of my job to navigate when my colleague was struggling with following the speaker, who was actually moving a lot. Navigate between when he was having trouble following the speaker, and be able to switch the live stream to what was on the projection screen, so that it didn't seem like it was a choppy presentation, basically. And so that's how we avoided that, which was beneficial to me, honestly, in being able to react that quickly and to watch my colleague, communicate with my colleague without words even. And then to the final question, tell about a time that you were under a lot of pressure and how did you get through? Mm-hmm. So I remember one particular time when I had scheduled, I think, 5 different recording artists to come to to a 12-hour studio session that I was engineering. And at the start of the session, we were having so many problems, like I think just different patch bay problems and stuff like that. It was a studio that I hadn't worked in before. And basically what I did, I just had to pull out the manual. I really just had to look up the manual for the board that I was working with and break it down step by step exactly what might or might not be working and figure it out. And luckily I had some help from people who were, also my assistants and also artists at the session who were able to help me. But yeah, just pulling out the manual and doing trial by error and finding exactly where the cog was. Turned out that the particular studio that we were working in was not normally, I guess you could say, was not normal in a normal way. So we had to figure that out on our own, but eventually we got through it and carried through with the session. So yeah. And so that was the final question. Again, my name is Kofi Donkor. Would be extremely grateful to be a part of this company and to be a part of this trip. I hope that my audition materials suffice, and I hope to hear back from you all. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time, and have a great life. Take care.